Countdown.
We're live.
Hi, everyone. We're just taking a moment to figure out some tech for a sec. All right, let me just see here. Okay, it is shareable now. Beautiful.
Great, I'm going to share it in my private group.
Great.
Need some exciting intro music here. Setting up. I think I can share this one. I'm so excited to do this and share your story. Everyone.
Me too.
Yes.
I think I can maybe tag you in it.
And that'll go on my wall then. Awesome.
Yeah, there we go. They've updated this since
Anyone that's super punctual will get all this behind the scenes stuff.
Okay, I think you are tagged now, so we are good. Beautiful.
Great. Want to get started?
Yeah, let's get started.
Okay. Well, for everyone that's joining, I'm Kristin Adams from Satori Minds and How to Launch Your Beauty Brand. And I'm here with Sandra. And she is, I'm going to hand it over to her because she is such an amazing presence. And she's doing so many incredible things to shift the consciousness of this planet. And so I would just like to hand you the baton so you can speak from your heart about what's going on.
Okay. Hi, everyone. It's really, really good to be here with you today. Whenever I'm asked to introduce myself, I'm like, who am I in this moment? What's most present for me now? So for the past 16 years, I've been doing deep, intuitive healing work on the spectrum of integrating holistically mind, body, soul. And I have had the pleasure of working with many individuals, probably hundreds of individuals at this point in many different capacities, on supporting them on their pathways. And this has been such a beautiful honor to show up in service and support of, others like on their journeys. And there's so much richness there. And why Kristin and I, part of the reason why we're here today is because my work is going through a evolution. It's expanding and growing as us humans do in all these beautiful different ways. And the topic of our talk today is, leading with love. How do we change the world by following our hearts, fully and deeply? And, after doing a specific type of work for many different years, I think there was a question mark in me, like what's next, right? When we commit ourselves and we're habitually showing up in a specific way, sometimes it doesn't feel like maybe there's space or room for us to expand, and trusting ourselves and the intuitive hits that we get and fully leaping into that direction and following our paths can feel really, really scary. And that's why, we wanted to kind of introduce this topic as I'm launching this new endeavor that is an expansion of my deep work with other people, but is taking on a different direction. It's taking a different direction. It's expanding and growing as I'm expanding and growing. And I'm really excited to announce that I am launching a new business and wellness platform called Zeva's Wellness, which features beautiful, deeply nourishing products that help to connect us to our mind, body, and spirit, and future kind of courses and a platform that support people in holistically attuning to their own body's intrinsic wisdom and the innate wisdom that is already within them, and recognizing that, we all individually hold the map to to our own well-being. And Kristin here has been my, beautiful cheerleader and mentor and support and guide in this new business endeavor of launching a whole new, business, and that can be really scary. So it's really amazing to have such wonderful support when you're kind of moving into a new direction. So
yeah. What a beautiful segue to talk about following your heart, even when it's scary. Like following what you know your next step in your evolution is, even when it's scary. And I would love to hear more about that journey for you, because you have a career of helping people step into their fullest expression of themselves, their authentic, aligned self. And so how do you, at that point, even when you as the teacher are stepping into your new moment of following your heart, where aligning with that why are you doing this? Why, coming from a place where you had no physical product offering, you have an amazing book of clients, stepping into this new evolution that has a product. What are you anchoring into to follow your heart, even when you're stepping into the unknown?
Beautiful question. I think that I have always been an inquiry around how can I show up in service with all of my faculties, and gifts, and how can I organize my life so that I can be actually free to show up in the ways that are most aligned with who I am on the deepest level. And, I think for me, after working with so many different people, individually, like one-on-one, clientele, there was something that was wanting to expand. It's like, well, I've done a lot of work kind of helping people individually walk through their process, but what would it be like to create a platform so that I could reach so many more people and give them physical tools that they could utilize in their, day-to-day life or their, spiritual practice that can help anchor them back into connection with who they really are. Because so much of my process has been about how can I show up in full honoring of myself every day, every moment? What are the specific resources and tools in my life, whether it's like people or herbal supplements or, yoga classes or, what are the kind of things on my list that support me in holistically anchoring into the ground of all that I am. And what interested me in making a physical product, the funny thing is like, I didn't even plan on making a physical product.
Yeah, here we are, ready to launch.
This was not in the plan. My plan this year was to launch some really beautiful group programs, which I'm still planning on doing. But this kind of physical product of Zeva's and the Zeva's Radiant Skin Potion, which I have, right here. I've always been a witchy kind of woman, who likes to, play with herbs and like make my own tea blends. And, I love candles and I love things that kind of invoke, a greater sense of connection and enliven my senses. Right. And having had my own journey with, chronic illness, prioritizing my own care of my body has always been of the utmost importance, whether it's treating it with organic foods, or, having many different sessions with my array of different practitioners. I like to say I have like my whole kind of support team, of people like my acupuncturist and Tibetan doctor and my multidimensional healer. I feel like we all need support in order to holistically. Yeah, exactly. The dream team. Like, how do we, who do we call in to be our angels and support us in like fully, anchoring into our true self? So, this idea for a product really, like I had always enjoyed everyone else's products. I love going to like boutiques and stores and, luxuriating and all of these different things. And I was, laying on my bed one night, and suddenly I just started to get a kind of download of these different ingredients. And for those of you who don't know, I'm a channel and I'm an intuitive, and that's been a deep foundation of the work that I do with other people, kind of helping other people anchor into their own intuitive brilliance, through the body. And so it wasn't that shocking when I started to get this kind of transmission that came through unplanned. And, suddenly I'm getting these herbal ingredients that are, moving through my mind. And I'm like, that's interesting. At the time I was having a psoriasis kind of flare up where my skin, and, it's not populated on a lot of my body. It's just like usually in one little part or pops up here or there, sometimes when I get stressed. But it was on my ankle. I'm like, I just wish that I had some sort of body butter or cream or something that would actually work, and sink into the deepest layers of my skin and feel like really nourishing and support me in feeling connected to my own sense of embodied nourishment. And so I went to my local apothecary with this kind of intuitive guidance that this herbal formula needed to be made. And I didn't know exactly why, but I just had to follow my heart and my intuition. And when I made it, after a couple of applications, my psoriasis, actually went out of inflammatory response. And I was just so amazed by like how incredibly soft my skin felt. Like living in Colorado, it's like really dry here all the time. So I'm always feeling kind of like dried out and, like I'm wanting more moisture, So, and then I was like, wow, this makes me feel so good. I have to share it, but I have no idea how. So I need some support. And that's when I called you, Kristin, when in that moment, like, I have this amazing product. I just don't know what to do. I've never made a physical product before, but it feels like it's supposed to be instrumental in people's healing process. And like, how do I do this?
Yeah. And that's my background, creating and launching products for the past 16 years. So happy to help you, and so amazing to watch you follow your intuition and align it with your heart and keep taking those next steps when to figuring out putting all the who's in place and all the people, your new dream team, to support this next vision of your journey without either stuffing it down or trying the exhausting task of Googling it to death and figuring out yourself. So
yeah, I've totally been there, and I'm an advocate of we are our best investment, and there's a balance between obviously attuning to our own inner knowing and advocating for that, like being our own best resource, but also when we need support to be open to receive support. And I've through investing in myself, through working with others, but also investing in my own kind of forms of support, it's just been such a powerful gift, to have the dream team or my angels looking out for me in that way, and to feel like I only invest in support in which I feel like that person is going to be able to safely and hold space for me to attune to my own inner wisdom, but has enough wisdom to guide me deeper than I could bring myself. So that's always my recommendation when someone's looking into hiring a coach or working with a healer. Do they make you feel safe? Do they create space for you to actually tune to your own inner wisdom, as opposed to just layering their own perspectives on things? And do you feel like you can holistically grow with them and they can hold you through that process and challenge you to explore frontiers that you've never been before, So
yeah, going into creating a product, even though you have this download and you have a product that works for you, stepping through that entire journey is like, at what point, what is it that is driving you? You can follow your heart, but a lot of people, it dies on the vine. They have an amazing idea, they have that impulse, but they never actually see it through. What is it that is allowing you to like bring this into full manifestation instead of just keeping it in the dream space?
I think it's a deep conviction and belief in myself, like a deep implicit trust in myself and in my path and in my intuition, which has come hard won, like doing a lot of deep inner work and excavation, and like I'm still scared. Like this is scary and really exciting. I'm going into and it's a very human thing to feel fear and anxiety when we're stepping into a frontier that we've never been before. But I think that, for me, it's this, continuous, practice of leaning in, even when it feels comfortable, and identifying, for myself, when I feel maybe inhibited or like I don't want to take that leap, like where is that coming from? Whose voice is that? Is it my social conditioning and programming? Does it come from imprinting from my family of lineage? A lot of the things that hold us back from actualizing our dreams are these imprints that we hold in our body, in our somatic memory and in our nervous system. And our brain can't often discern the difference between an emotional or a physical threat. So when we're moving towards something that's unknown, our amygdala gets activated from a neurobiological perspective, and it's like fight or flight. Oh my God, the bear's gonna get me, and suddenly that thing that felt maybe enlivening and joyful for us feels really terrifying, and it gets confusing. So rather than moving towards that and leaning in towards the thing that feels uncomfortable and scary, it's obviously in our biology to lean back out and to not risk, threatening ourselves further. So I think for me, it's, developing an awareness of my own biology and my own biological programming and my own kind of beliefs and inner structures, and then really becoming deeply intimate with what feels true on the deepest level, like the felt resonance of my own inner truth. That's like the practice of becoming our own inner guidance system and our own inner compass, and connecting deeply to our own inner guidance system as our true north on a daily basis, and allowing ourselves to saturate in that frequency until that's the thing that's taking up the most space, so that when we get these incredible ideas that come through, we have the kind of courage and also the kind of fundamental support in our life to be able to make that shift or leap,
Right. That courage, that vision, the heart, the fundamental support, and then also the team of people and resources that actually can help you execute that.
Exactly.
Making some really smart. And everyone thought we might just be talking about skincare here.
No, it's way deeper than
that. So you have all of these amazing spiritual meta concepts that you bring to the personal. And then you have the skincare product, your potion, your witchy potion that is in its own right a conversation about self-love. So how are the two of them intersecting? Can you tell me about the intersection between just a product and how the use of that product as a ritual and a tool is part of your platform and part of the integration of all your messages?
Yeah, so, and it's a beautiful question. And for me, this product is so much more than just a product. It's representative of a way of life. And one of my taglines is love for everybody, regardless of, skin color or shape, size, gender. When we actually create space to love ourselves and nurture ourselves on the deepest level, we usually show up as our best selves. We can't help but show up as our best selves. So creating a physical product that, with rituals, a ritual of self-care that help us to connect to our deepest self and really establish a relationship of self-love and being in synergy and communication with our mind, body, and soul. That's really what I'm aiming to provide here. Not just products, that help us do that, but create physical anchors in the space that connect us to our inner world. But, courses and, articles and a platform for people really to speak their truth and authentically express themselves and create that foundation for their deepest self-care, so that they are resourced enough to take the leaps in their life that they really want to take and that they most desire. The dreams that they most desire to bring into fruition are best supported when we have the foundation to show up as our best selves. And that's really, that's, I would say, one of my deepest intentions around birthing this product and this platform into the world, and my ultimate vision of it being a whole ecosystem that creates accessibility to these resources that maybe weren't accessible before. And this just deep devotion and reverence for their own body's intelligence and the beauty of their own body and the health and wholeness that already exists within them.
And that's so huge. So having that entire container to lead with your heart from there, because we change the world by changing ourselves and
exactly
into ourselves, not externalizing and forcing that change on others, which we've all tried to do. Like, let's just be real that we've all tried to externalize the change. But talk to me about how this takes us full circle to all of that, takes us full circle to leading with love as a vehicle to change the world. And that love is self-love first.
You know, it's interesting because, like, as you were talking, you know, I was thinking about like all of the messaging around like beauty in our culture, like, and how much beauty brand in general is focused on the outside and making the outside better, and being so impacted by that when I was growing up. Like I struggled with my weight when I was younger, and just, you know, I was always kind of comparing myself to the kind of social, you know, conditioning or the social norms of how I should look, allowing that to kind of define my worth, and creating a product that is focused around connecting with ourselves internally first as the vehicle to our outward radiance. That just like really spoke to me. And I think that by creating this platform, I'd like to inspire a kind of transformation of the beauty industry in general. There are a lot of great brands that already do that aren't necessarily like beauty related, but, you know, there's a sense of like, how do we create, you know, foundations that like populate consumerist culture and like popular society that create accessibility to resources for us to deeply connect to our inner world and understand that our radiance actually comes from the inside out. Our love comes from the inside out. Our health comes from the inside out. And by shifting our attention from the external to the internal, that's how we create a foundational platform for not only connecting to the deepest wells of our, you know, love and self-love, but our creativity and our turn on and our pleasure and our ability to be expansive in all these different areas in life. It's by creating and mining and caring for the temple, you know, of our inner foundation.
Yeah.
We are then empowered to do that, you know.
Absolutely. Sensuality at every single level of that definition.
Exactly.
All the pictures. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. So it's so much to process, and the conversation can start at any level. And that's why for a lot of people, the most accessible level for that to start at is a product that has a ritual around it. Can you tell me about the ritual related to the product, or the method and the approach?
Yeah, you know, what's beautiful about this product was that, you know, it was channeled from a place of deep wisdom around healing my own body and healing myself from like years and years of chronic illness as a kid. It's like, what would I want to kind of adorn my body with that would feel really, really nourishing for me, that would help me to feel really cared for and loved. And that's like where this, you know, product was, you know, created from, this, you know, space, and tuning into that feeling of, well, if I'm putting something on my skin, like, how would I want it to feel? What would I like it to smell? What would I like my experience to be? You know, the product that I created is very rich and deeply nourishing, and made with, you know, all organic ingredients. So it's like, there's this sense of knowing and deeply trusting that whatever I'm adorning myself with here is going to actually be in service to me at the highest level. And the specific, you know, ritual, I would say, that is supposed to go with the kind of Zeva's radiant skin potion experience is an invitation into mindfulness. Like, how do you drop deep into connection with yourself and your own body? How do you create maybe just a few moments of space to slow down, to really welcome all that's here and welcome all of yourself there? And then from that space, integrating, with or interacting with the product, So like what I like to do is after I take like a shower or a bath, when I have accessibility to a bath, is just to take, a few minutes after I've done my kind of whole bathing ritual, and then, adorn myself in this butter, and really relating with myself from a space of love and compassion, and, connecting with maybe the places in my body that are in pain, or maybe I haven't been so kind to, and inviting more compassion to those places. So creating a mindful ritual around connecting to your body and your deepest truth and whatever feels most present for you as an avenue to your deepest expression of self-love and the way that you would like to show up and interact with the world.
That sounds beautiful, but a lot of people have a relationship with their body of frustration.
Totally.
Impatience.
I know I can relate with that.
Yeah, me too. Impatience and frustration, and just like, let's get this over with and get on to the next thing.
Totally.
So how, I know that you are planning on doing meditations related to this, and how do you shift, like that is a mindset shift to come from a place of like connection and conversation, and on the sensual side, on the relating side, on the connection side, how can we connect with other people if we can't even connect with our own body? If we're in a state in a conversation of rejection with our own body.
Yep.
Like, how do you get over that? We've been doing that our entire lives, this state of rejection, comparison, just frustration with our own body. And you have this beautiful product, Zeva's potion. But what do you do? Like, what does that conversation actually look like practically?
Like when you don't have like the space to slow down, or there's
you're just like in this rut, or like slap it on, get it done, get out the door.
Well, that's the invitation though.
Yeah.
It's like, people always ask, and this is a question I've heard, like, well, how do I access that inner radiance? How do I access that pleasure when I'm like on the go, or I'm trying to juggle kids and like a full-time job and like relationships, and life is like so busy and the external world is so chaotic. Our impulse is to be repulsed, and it's like, okay, I have like 10 minutes for my food right now. I'm going to just like rush through everything. Rushing will only burn ourselves out even more, and that's like what I've found, from like years and years of, healing from, chronic conditions or chronic fatigue. It's like our systems have been programmed to always speed through things when they feel uncomfortable. And, what I've learned as an avenue to like my deepest healing is, yeah, you might want to speed through the process of just slapping on the, the product or whatever, or taking the supplement as quickly as possible. Or, when you're in like yoga, it's like, great, I only have like 2 minutes for Shavasana and then I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like
some people skip Shavasana altogether. Have you noticed?
Yeah, totally. And that's real. And that's totally real. There's some days I'm like, I'm going to just walk past my meditation cushion and be like, hey, just
check it tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. And that's like real. But for me, this like process of transformation has been about like leaning into the uncomfortable places, whether it's like leaning towards and leaping to bringing a vision into fruition, or sitting with myself and connecting with a part of my body that really hasn't historically been comfortable for me to connect with, and just feeling what, not hitting myself over the head with it, but like, oh, what's it like to be in relationship with this part of myself? And if that's too much, oh, what does it feel like to just put this product on my body, for a moment? How does that make my skin feel? Because a lot of the time when we can't really be with an experience, it's because it's fundamentally overwhelming. Even a pleasurable experience can be fundamentally overwhelming, especially when we're oriented towards stress or pain. So, a lot of the work that I've done like with myself and then with clients is like, if something feels overwhelming and you feel like an aversion, how do you just dip your toe or your pinky in the water to test temperature? How do you take like a little, dab of the product and put it on your skin and feel what that's like for a minute without having to do an entire ritual around it? What what quality, does that evoke in you, in that moment to just, be interacting with yourself on that level. Yeah. What awareness is invited, around that process.
Yeah. And just cracking that open, because the full picture of that can feel like just telling someone to just lucid dream or something that seems like inaccessible. But that's why coaches, your dream team, the platform that you're creating creates that invitation and that map and that guide to get to that place of deep connection and awareness.
Yep. Yeah, it's a large part of the reason why I'm creating this platform and launching this product. Zeva's is going to be my radiant skin potion. It's going to be one of many products. I hope to have a line of different products for like the face and like body oil, and then have a sensual line at some point, and then curate other products that people can use. But everyone is going to have their own unique map to well-being, and I'm not here to tell you what it is. I'm here to support you in connecting to the subtle cues and the intuitive wisdom and the wisdom of your body, so that you can discover what that map is, because you are the map to your most radiant, health and self and, embodied self. So I don't want to tell you how to find it. I want to create space so that you can attune to it, through products, through courses, through articles, through art and imagery, through expression.
Amazing. Well, I have loved working with you on this and watching the growth of it. Can you speak to our work together and just what it's like, how it's evolved and how you approached it?
Sure. I mean, I think when I first started this process, I'm like, I don't know anything about the beauty industry. I don't really know anything about, selling a physical product. I've always, sold, obviously, coaching, programs and whatnot, and healing sessions. I was always more oriented towards that, but I had I had a lot of business area and, business training in one area and not a lot in this other area at all. So I found you intuitively, as you know. I was looking up online, kind of beauty, business, consulting, and then your LinkedIn profile popped up, and I was like, she's the one, So my inner guidance, told me to reach out to you. And then, it's just interesting because you and I have similar orientations, so there's it's always felt like there's a lot of shared resonance. So I felt that as a visionary, it can be a struggle for me to find, someone that can hold me in my multidimensional complexity. So it's been beautiful to work with you because as a visionary, I can have so much energy and so many ideas bursting from me all the time. So having someone that's really seasoned in this particular industry and could put kind of a container and step-by-step actions so that I could create a really organized business has been so invaluable,
Thank you.
Yeah. And then even just inviting, this conversation to happen has been just so beautiful too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I feel the same way about what you're creating too. You're creating a mirror of what I'm creating, helping entrepreneurs launch beauty products and wellness products. You're creating with your new Zeva's product and your entire platform, that the exact same thing for people to launch their hearts and their dreams and their connection with themselves. So, I mean, how beautiful is that? I think it's just that's how the world is changed as we step into this, this new wave of real alignment with who we want to be and how we want to show up in the world, and leading with a deeper resonance and connection with who we actually are at our deepest core. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. I think that there's so much space for that. And I think that the planet's really calling for that, calling for kind of solutions and greater coherence, as there's so much kind of collectively shifting there's so much collective awakening happening at the same time. And like, we need the creatives and the visionaries and the people that can think outside of the box to step forward and offer different solutions so that we can holistically, love the planet back into wholeness.
Right. And there's so much support that, like, if one takeaway, other than the fact, if you want to launch a beauty brand, I'm your woman. And if you want to launch yourself, Sandra's your woman. But that there is so much support out there for you. And you don't have to, you are not alone. You don't have to go it alone. You can follow your heart and still get the support you need to make your dreams a reality. Beautiful. So tell everyone about where they can find Zeva's and where they can find your platform. And you're also doing an event, which is going to be amazing, on February 14th. I'm going to be there as just an audience member for your workshop, but tell everyone about that.
Yeah, so if you want to find out more about Zeva's Wellness, you can go to www.zevaswellness.com. And there's I think a 15% off promo code on your first order right now. So if you'd like to try the product, would love that and would love to share it with you. And then we are doing a special Valentine's Day, and I'd prefer to call it just Love Day event next Sunday. That's called the Love for Everybody event. It's going to be a mini retreat, speaker panel, launch party celebration. We have like 5 incredible speakers coming that are all going to be speaking around the topic, like around how do we like love ourselves as an avenue to loving the planet back into wholeness. And we're going to be covering like multidimensional healing, eco-entrepreneurship, living your purpose and your dreams and discovering your true like why and purpose for being, self-love techniques, like attuning to our own inner ecosystem and really becoming the most optimal map to our well-being. So we're going to be doing a self-love giveaway, and the speakers are going to be doing these kind of like little immersions that are all based around, their work. We have an amazing hypnotherapist that's going to be doing a group kind of guided collective hypnotherapy session. And they're all giving away free gifts, which is also truly amazing. And then I'll be running a promo, there too, a promotion for Zeva's as well. There's going to be 20% off. Anyone that purchases a ticket will be given access to all these, different free gifts. So I hope that you join us. Early bird tickets are selling right now until February 11th for $22. And we will be posting the event link for the event in the comments below, as well as the Zeva's website below. But it's going to be a really, really beautiful, deeply nourishing day. So if you're looking for a avenue or space to really connect to your own form of self-love, your own embodiment of self-love, and find other avenues to support your most optimal expression, this is the retreat for you. And just feeling like a call to how is showing up as my best self and being embodied in love and my own inner sense of radiance and truth, how can that translate to completely transforming and loving the world back into its innate wholeness too?
And it's not just for women.
No, it's not. It's for everyone.
Yeah, loving yourself isn't just for women.
No, it's for everyone, everybody, regardless of, gender or sexual identity or color or religion. It's for everybody.
Aliens invited as well.
Aliens invited too. My spirit guides are invited. Everyone's invited.
Every multidimensional being is also welcome. 22 bucks, and it goes up to 44. When does it go up to 44?
It goes up to 44. I think on February 11th. So it's early bird. It's till the 11th, and then it'll go up to regular admission as well. And it's going to be 3.5 hours. So it's not just
retreat.
It's going to be an actual deep dive, experiential, deep experientials. There's going to be so much tremendous value, and all these speakers have so many beautiful things to share as well. And I'll be leading some, exercises as well. And we have a really juicy self-love, self-care giveaway basket as well that with the purchase of your ticket, you'll also also get kind of automatically enrolled in that raffle as well. So
yeah, absolutely. And it would make a great Valentine's gift.
Yeah.
Another to do this together. So
single couples, friends, it's love day. So if you want to celebrate love together, come to our gathering on February 14th.
Yeah. So they know how to get in touch with you, and we'll put the links below. And if you are interested in talking to me about launching a beauty brand or beauty product in the wellness space, happy to discuss. You can just message me. Satori Minds is my Instagram, and howtolaunchyourbeautybrand.com is my website. So yes, I can't wait for your product to fully launch. I can't wait to get my hot off the press launch of it version.
Yeah, me too.
The final. And thank you so much.
Thank you. This was so fun. And thanks to all who joined in and tuned in today. And feel free to connect with Kristin or I. And we look forward to seeing you again. And then at our Love for Everybody mini retreat and launch party on the 14th as well.
Yeah. Follow your heart and change the world.
Exactly. Yes.
And conquer with your heart.
All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great rest of your week.